Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon for many of you. My name is Tina Albin. I work here in the Office of International Students and Scholars at the University of St. Thomas. Welcome to our third pre-arrival call. We have a lot of information to cover, so I think we should get started. If you do have questions, you can type them in the chat box. We can try to answer them as we can, and we should have a couple of minutes at the end for questions as well. So if you do have questions, again, type them in the chat box, and you can also ask them at the end. Okay, we should get started. All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, we have quite a big agenda to talk about today. We'll talk about visas, social media. We have some folks from the Center for Wellbeing to join us to talk about health insurance and immunizations. We will cover some of the big portals at St. Thomas that you'll be using. Packing list. We have some important information just to share with you that you may be seeing when you arrive. We'll talk a little bit about residence life and move-in, and of course, we'll talk about orientation as well. All right, I am going to pass it on to Lou. Good morning, Lou.
Hello everyone. Really quick update for the admissions team here. We just need to know at the moment where you're at with your visa process, and so this doesn't apply to all of you. We know that, and most of you have sent us an update with where you're at with that process. Either you've got a visa granted, or you have an appointment coming up, or a date. We just know we need to know what that date is if you haven't yet already. On the next slide here, you can do this via the application portal. So if you just log in at the very top, there's that international documents link. This link is where you would just send us that update. It's a really short, quick form, and you can also recomplete it. So if you have already completed it a few weeks ago or maybe a month or two ago, but now you have a visa update that we do not know, you can just log back in, click on the international documents, and then recomplete this form for us so we know where you're at with the visa process. It's really, really important that we know. There's a lot of teams on campus that we have to communicate with and coordinate with regarding your arrival. So please make sure that we have an update of where you're at with your visa process.
Tina,
Okay. Yep.
quick thing before,
Yes.
do we want to start the recording?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It says it's recording on my end.
Okay,
Um,
I can't see that there's anything saying that it's recording, but I'm sharing, so I just wanted to make sure that, okay, perfect.
Lou,
Sounds
it's
Looks like
recording.
it is.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Go
looks like it is. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks. Okay. Lou, if you would also just like to cover this slide as well, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll chat about this briefly again because it doesn't apply to all of you now because some of you already have your visa. But as part of a new social media screening, what we're seeing now on your interview process is you'll be required to provide your social media accounts and information for the past 5 years. And so what we're asking you to do if you have not yet had your visa appointment is to review all of your social media accounts before you interview. This also includes and we got this question from a few students. This also includes making sure that your social media accounts are visible and public. It has been really clear by US immigration that it is not acceptable if you have social accounts just to make them private for the time of your interview or arrival. So if you do have accounts, you have to be transparent, you have to list them. And the wording we've been using with students is once you review your social media accounts, is to avoid posting any content on social media that can be interpreted as being inconsistent with your focus on studying in the United States. That is always your goal, is to come to the US as an F1 student, and that is it. So again, if you have not had your interview yet, this will be part of that new visa process, is a social media screening. If you have further questions, again, it doesn't apply to all of you, but if you have further questions, just shoot an email to your admissions counselor, and we're happy to chat about that process a little bit more with you. On the next slide, it's just kind of a brief sample of post-interview. This is just something we're seeing with the new social media screening now, is that it might show up as refused. And so we've just kind of included a screenshot of one of those messages that we've seen from students of what it could look like. Refuse in this circumstance where they've taken your passport post-interview actually doesn't mean refused. It just means they are reviewing your accounts in the process, and we've seen a wait time of another few days up to 2 weeks of them reviewing your social media accounts before they approve your visa. So so don't panic. In the meantime, keep your counselor in the loop with how your interview goes, regardless of the outcome. If you haven't had it yet, this would be really helpful. But we wanted to share kind of what this new social media screening looks like. And again, the refusal might not necessarily mean a refusal. But again, please let your counselor know when you've completed your interview.
Thank you, Lou.
Mhm.
If you do have questions, like Lou mentioned, you can reach out to your admissions counselor. We also at some point have our director, Lori Friedman, joining us, and she may be able to offer some additional guidance as well. And we can ask her for her opinion once she joins. But we are going to move on to the next part of the call. We have a few folks from Health Services joining us on the call today. I would love it if they could introduce themselves and take over for this portion of the call. So welcome, Center for Wellbeing.
Thank you so much. My name is Dina Abrahamson. I am the systems analyst in the Center for Wellbeing, and I also work with the immunization compliance process.
I'm Kathy St. Mary, and I am the billing and insurance specialist. And so if you have questions about your health insurance or how I can help, please make sure to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help.
I am Allison Putz. I am the registered nurse at the Center for Wellbeing. And again, if you have any questions about immunizations, tuberculosis screening, anything like that, you see my information there listed. Please reach out.
Great. Thank you very much. Allison, Dina, or Kathy, if one of you would be comfortable introducing the Center for Wellbeing to our students, talking about the purpose, how they can use it, things like that, that would be great.
I will do my best. I'm actually quite new. I'm like 3 weeks here. So if I miss something, Dina or Kathy, maybe you can help me with that. But we are a clinic for the students' care. And so any kind of medical care, including physicals, injuries, illnesses, this is where you can come. It gets billed through your insurance. We have providers. We are able to get you to places like radiology if you needed an x-ray or anything like that. But pretty much anything you would see in a common clinic, drawing blood, being evaluated for all sorts of medical conditions. This is where the students can come. It's right on campus at the Center for Wellbeing. We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, all through the year too.
I would just add that we also we're an integrated healthcare system. So we also have health services, we have counseling and psychological services and health promotion all located in the same building. So we are your one-stop shop for your healthcare needs, whatever they may be. And if I repeated something you said, Allison, I'm sorry. My connection seems a little wonky.
Great. And if one of you could just speak a little bit about the health services page, especially in regards to immunizations and health insurance, I think that would be helpful for our students to know because I know they have a lot of requirements for that.
I'm going to let one of you speak into the page.
Okay.
Dina, are you comfortable talking about that?
Yes. For international students, all students are required to provide proof of immunizations for measles, mumps, rubella, and tetanus, diphtheria. And there is another page that is specific on our website to just the immunization information and how to submit that to us. International students also are required to have health insurance, and all students on an F1 or J1 visa will be automatically eligible for that service. J1 students are automatically enrolled. F1 students, if they have comparable health insurance, are able to submit a waiver request to use their own insurance and waive ours. And again, there's a separate page for the health insurance page, but the two main requirements are the immunizations and the health insurance verification process. Thank you. So immunizations, this is copied, basically the information from our website. And there is a link for the immunizations requirement webpage. I strongly recommend everyone go and review that. Documents, probably, again, students are required to show proof of immunity for measles, mumps, and rubella, and that requires 2 doses, and then tetanus and diphtheria, which has to be received in the last 10 years. The best way to get started with that is to log into my health portal. There's a link in this document as well as on our webpage, and upload your immunization records. And then our staff will take a look at those, and we will reach out to you if there's any questions, if there's any issues, if we identify that anything, any immunizations are needed. We are happy to work with you. We're excited to work with you. And I think that is the best way, especially you know, traditionally in the United States, measles, mumps, and rubella are given together in one vaccine. That's not true in all countries. So sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but we're here to help. So again, please reach out to us with questions. And I think the first step is just to get those immunization records uploaded to us so that we can review them and help you start the process. And Allison's awesome. She's our nurse and she's going to help you. She's going to take great care of you.
If I can interject really quick, so we will have a slide showing what the health portal looks like for
Yes.
you guys students, so that you can kind of familiarize yourself with what it looks like. I'm just gonna go back to this page. So this is in One St. Thomas, and the link to find your health portal is pretty easy to find. And you will need to use that honestly anytime that you want to make an appointment. So I would just keep that in mind.
Yes. On the external website, thank you, Carolina, for showing that. On the external website, all of the health services pages for immunizations, the main page, almost every page has a link to my health portal. So it's easy to find. It's everywhere.
I'll just talk really briefly about health insurance. Dina kind of went over that a little bit, but it is required for all F1 and J1 international students that you have health insurance. J1 students will be automatically enrolled in our student health plan, but if you're an F1, you have the option of enrolling into our health plan, or you can submit a waiver request if you have a plan that meets the comparable requirements of our health plan. And so I would just be watching your email. This usually comes out at the end of July, information on how to opt in or to waive the health insurance. So it's nothing you need to be super concerned about yet. And if you have a plan that you think you want to submit to see if it will be accepted as a waiver, you can certainly reach out and I can review that for you to see if it will work. So I know you're going to probably have a lot of questions about health insurance and immunizations and health-related items, but we're always here. We love to help. Every single person in the Center for Wellbeing is here to help and to make your transition as easy as possible. So always please feel free to reach out with any questions.
Can I ask a question? This is for Kathy. So with international students, we have a lot of people coming to the United States, sometimes for the first time in their life. And they're coming from countries where the American health insurance and like the complex structure of that does not apply back home. So like what would you tell someone kind of interacting with the American health insurance system for the first time? Like how does it work? What if there's a service that you need outside of the Center for Wellbeing that you would use your insurance for? Can you just give like a more general overview of that for students?
Sure. That's a really good question, but a really complex question. That probably going to find out that the United States healthcare system is probably a lot more complex than what you're used to. I'll tell you, one of the great things about our student health plan is if you do opt into that, then all of your care at the Center for Wellbeing is covered 100%. You don't have any other worries or about costs if you are at the Center for Wellbeing, if you're enrolled in the student health plan. There's going to be, I see that Lori sent a message, and I was going to say, we're going to talk about that more at orientation because it's a really complex situation. But just know that the insurance, there's a different levels of care that you can receive in the United States, from a clinic all the way up to the emergency room, and the cost varies a lot by where you happen to go for care. And insurance have different requirements for getting care at different places. So I think maybe we just will wait till orientation when I have some slides that kind of help, because it is actually really, it's a lot of information, and it's probably best to sort of address that maybe a little bit later, if that's okay. But those are all really great questions.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you, Dina, Allison, and Kathy. We appreciate it. And like what's mentioned in the chat, we will learn a lot about health insurance and services available to you during our orientation as well, which we'll talk about a little bit towards the end of the call. Okay. I am going to actually ask Carolina to go back to the social media slide, if you could do that. And Lori, if you are ready, we did have a couple of questions about social media.
Yes. Sorry, I missed the first couple minutes of the call, but it sounds like there were some questions about social media, as far as keeping them public and what happens when you enter the country, it sounds like. I mean, at any checkpoint, basically, that you encounter somebody from immigration, which is, or Department of State, which is at the consulate, it's at the border. It could be when you apply for certain work authorizations or benefits later on. At those times, my current advice would probably be to have your social media public. We don't know, this is very new, so we're learning. That's why I said current, because that's what I know today, and we're going to learn more as we go. But that is important for you as you enter the country. They may ask information. It's possible. Hopefully all those checks would have happened already at the consulate stage, and there shouldn't be, but you want to make sure to cooperate and be honest with the Border Patrol and any inspection that they ask, and just be honest. Are there other questions that I can answer about social media? I can try to respond in the chat if you end up posting something there too. Thanks.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
And you may want to keep your camera on.
Oh, yeah.
Would also like to introduce our international student advisors. Lori, would you like to go first?
I'm Lori. If I didn't meet you at the other call, I'm the director of the office, and nice to meet you all.
Miho, are you on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miho Patani. I'm Associate Director in the office. I do immigration advising, so we look forward to seeing you all involved.
Thanks, Miho. Paul, are you available to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Stanley. I'm also part of the advising team. I support you in your immigration journey prior to arrival. Then once you're here, advise you on it while you study. And I work with Miho and Tina to make sure that you guys are maintaining your F1 status.
And like I said earlier, my name is Tina Elvin. I'm the Intercultural Programs Manager. I work with Paul and Miho to, like Paul said, make sure you maintain your F1 status while you're here. But I also, with our graduate student, Carolina Martinez, we plan lots of fun events that we will talk about a little bit later. And then if we move on, International Missions Team, Amanda is not here, but John, if you'd like to quickly introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. Reintroducing myself. My name is John
Yeah.
Stewart. I'm a senior international admissions counselor here. And I've worked with a lot of you, which is awesome. Can't wait to have you. And I also have a really fun announcement towards the end of the call, so stay tuned.
Thanks, John. Again, my name is Lou. I'm also an international admissions counselor here, and excited to see all of you. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in a few months.
Anju, are you on today? I think you are. You just messaged me.
Hi, good evening, good morning, everyone. I'm Anju Chopra. Some of you, these dear students, you know me already. I am based out of India and I can help you guys. I'm already helping you guys with your visas and other queries. So, but if you have anything, you are always more than welcome to get in touch with me. Thank you so much.
And I don't think that Hien is here this morning, but Hien is our international recruitment specialist in Vietnam. Okay, so I'd like to move on to the next slide. Carolina, sorry, V, are you with us this morning? Maybe Carolina can go first.
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone. My name is Carolina. I'm the grad assistant for programming. So like Tina said, we work together to put on events. I'm a grad international student from Peru. So if you guys have any questions kind of from a more like student perspective, I can always help you out.
And V, are you able to introduce yourself?
He said that her microphone is broken, but
Oh.
she is here.
That's okay. V is here.
Hi, V.
Hi, V. Okay, we are going to talk a little bit now about lots of different portals that you're going to be using while you're a student at St. Thomas. And I will have Carolina jump in a little bit too, just to talk about these. So let's go to the first portal. Carolina, are you okay to talk about the My Health portal?
Yes, and also if anyone from CWB wants to step in, go for it. I can just talk about it from like my experience too as a student. So this is what it looks like once you click the link. So it is very private. You have to enter your date of birth in order to even access the actual portal with like to make appointments or to see if you've been sent any forms or if your results from exams are ready. As you can see, there's a pretty extensive list of if you need to check in or schedule an appointment, send a secure message to one of the health providers. Does anyone from CWB want to explain this any further? I'll just give it a little second.
I would just mention that, yeah, that is a wonderful way to contact us, get a hold of us, ask questions, that secure message. We cannot guarantee the security, the privacy compliance through email. So this is always a wonderful way to contact us. And we will contact you in that way too. So this is a wonderful way to communicate with your health professionals, the nurse, the provider, anyone there.
Yes,
also,
thank you, Allison. Oh, I
sorry,
just
go
want to
ahead.
also say, if someone, if you do upload like your immunization information, you supply that to us, and if we have questions, we will create a secure message in the portal for you. You will get an email notification from CWB Notifications that says you have a new secure message. Please log in to read it. And when you log in, this is where you will go and then select messages from the left menu to read it. And also if you have an appointment, sometimes there are forms you need to fill out ahead of time. This is also where you would go to do that. So I highly recommend everyone just try out logging into the portal. Just check it out and try out some of the different features.
And Dina or Allison, I'm assuming it's under immunization history that the students will upload their like immunization records, or is it under another button in this
It's
column?
under forms and requirements.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is one of the portals that you will use the most. In this, it's called Canvas. It's got all of the information that you will need for your classes. You will see some cards just like these in your own Canvas, but they'll show your courses, the courses that you have chosen or the courses that you have already been registered for. And then they will have your syllabus, your assignments, discussion boards if you have any. So you'll use this all the time as a student. So some of the ones that you will likely have already is the ONR, the International Student Orientation, and Tommy Tech. So they'll show up just like this in this like square with a picture or a color. And you will need to, I mean, I suggest that you open them and like look through them, and just complete the modules as well. Then all your grades, like I said, syllabus, any reading that isn't on textbooks will show up on your course's Canvas. So yeah, you'll use this a lot.
And yeah, and just a note, if Killian, if you can go back just to the previous slide, you have all been invited to the International Student Orientation module. I sent those out last week. I added all of you to the module, so you will need to complete that before you arrive. That is a really important module. So if you haven't logged in, this is a good chance. This is a good chance to do it. You should complete all of the modules that you've been added to before you arrive. That includes the new student orientation for 2025, and then the international student orientation. And I'm not sure if you are added to a Tommy Tech page.
They should be
It
already.
should be. Okay. There's also a Tommy Tech page that will introduce you to all the tech services on campus. Okay.
So the other portal that you'll use is One St. Thomas. So just to briefly kind of make a distinction between like the St. Thomas webpage and One St. Thomas. The St. Thomas webpage, anyone can access, even if they're not a student. One St. Thomas, you can only access if you're student, faculty, or staff. So basically, if you have a St. Thomas email. And so there is usually more detailed information there because it's just for the St. Thomas community. And then you have access to news, to events. You can access your email through there, my health portal, Murphy, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And then usually each department or office has their own page in One St. Thomas where you can find more information on how to contact them, or in our case, we have information about the different services that we offer, some forms, and just things like that related to our office and department. And I'm sorry if anyone has any questions. I can't see the chat at all. But if you, yeah, I guess one of us will help answer your questions. And then this is Murphy, which you'll also use a lot. Your Murphy, I think it depends. They're shifting to this version of Murphy, so it might not look exactly like this when you enter Murphy. But this is where you can register for class, where you can access your payment. You can see your class schedule with the class numbers. So then you'll be able to know exactly what building and what, I guess, floor and class your class is in. So you can see kind of here, I've blurred it out because it's mine and I didn't want to confuse you guys with the classes. But so it'll look something like this, and then it'll show the information here of where it is. Then this is super important for emergency alerts. If there is any sort of emergency, or for example, extreme weather, anything, they'll just notify you to the specific, like you can enter there and just write if you want to be notified by email, by text, by call, by all of those three modes of communication. So I would say that's a super important part of Murphy because you want to be notified. And as students, you also need to write in your emergency contact. So that will be super important. Addresses will also need to go in here. Later on, when you're employed, you can find information that you need to complete there. So you will use this pretty often. And looks like that's it for portals.
Thanks, Carolina. Again, if you have questions, we do have time. I hope we have time towards the end of the call. So let's talk a little bit about what to buy in the US. So just some things that you should bring from home is a copy of your medical records. For the admissions staff, they will be asking you when you arrive to provide your final official transcripts. So please have those. We always recommend that you have those in your carry-on, just in case we hope this doesn't happen, of course, but just in case your luggage gets lost or delayed. At St. Thomas, you'll have a lot of opportunities to showcase your home country or culture, and so we always suggest bringing some cultural clothing or outfits to wear to different events. For example, in April, we host a big international dinner, and that's a great time to showcase your home culture, but there'll be lots of other opportunities before that as well. And then something that's also really important, especially for those first few days when you're here, please have an adapter for an electrical outlet. You'll want to charge your devices. You'll want to be able to, call or email friends and family back home, let them know you arrived safe. So that's always important. Some things that you can buy and that you should wait to buy in the US are things like bedding, room decorations, winter clothes, food, school supplies. With winter clothes, your winter or your cold weather may be very different from a Minnesota winter or a Minnesota cold weather. So your jackets and coats back home may not be sufficient. I don't want to scare you if none of you have seen snow. But Minnesota winters can be very cold, and we can point you in the right direction on where to get appropriate winter clothing. And during orientation, we also have something called borrowing closet, where members of the St. Thomas community have donated gently used items. You may find coats, jackets, hats, gloves, winter clothes like that, and a lot of other things. So if you have other questions about this, it's a good idea to reach out to to one of us or to your counselor. Okay, so we do provide a packing list. Carolina, since you made this, do you want to quickly just talk about it? Thank you.
Yep. So it's basically for your convenience. It's nothing that you really have to use. But it does have suggestions of things that you want to bring, and it makes a distinction of things you want to bring in your carry-on luggage versus your checked luggage, because things like your I-20, your transcripts, any credit cards, debit cards, cash that you want to bring, medications, if you take any, you will need to bring that with your prescription documentation. All of that should go in your carry-on because you don't want to have it be in your checked luggage. If you're then asked for it, you don't have it on hand. Or if your checked luggage is delayed, then you will just need to have all of those things with you handy. Same with your laptop or things like that. You will want to bring that with you in your either carry-on, or if you have a backpack or something like that, you can also bring that there too. And then you can just use this QR code to access that and see, have that handy for you, and see again what not to pack. Also, if anyone else wants to add things that you shouldn't bring. In general, don't bring any like loose medications. Don't bring food that's like it says, like food from animals or plants or stuff like that. I brought, I don't know, prepackaged things like um cookies or stuff like that. That's just fine. Um, we just don't want any, I don't know, Lori, if you want to make the distinction of like what shouldn't be brought in that is food, I guess like, yeah.
I mean, usually like meats and like raw fruits and vegetables and things like that. There are some like seasonings or sauces that are also not allowed, and that's pretty country specific. So there are some checklists and information out there provided by immigration that you should look at just to see. I'll see if I can dig up the links and share them in the chat.
Thank you. We did have a good question in the chat, and it says, are shops within campus or students have to go off campus to access bedding, for example? So we will take you to a store called Target. If you haven't heard of it, it's a store that has basically everything. You can get food, clothes, you can get sheets for your bed, pillows. It's a one-stop shop for most things that you're going to need. So I may need help, Carolina, when we're planning to go to Target. Do you remember which day?
I believe it's
Sunday.
Monday. Sunday?
Sunday. Yep, it's Sunday late afternoon. So the day after you arrive. And there are sheets and things like that for loan through Residence Life for the first night.
And then also, just for more general answers for that, you can also do Amazon. Once you're here, please do it once you're here. Because like Amanda said, I think it was last pre-arrival call, if you start ordering now, they will have no like register of who you are. So then your stuff might get lost. So just do it once you're here. Or maybe like the day before arriving. And then you can also find food, some detergent. I think you can also find some like over-the-counter medication in St. Thomas. There is like a little store, like a little bodega at St. Thomas where you can find stuff like that. Otherwise you will need to go off campus to Target or stuff like that, but that's pretty easy to access, and we can give you more information on that.
Great. Thank you, Carolina. We have another question in the chat. Someone asked, do we have to buy bed sheets when we get there? Is it not provided by the dorms? Yes, you have to buy bed sheets, bedding, pillowcases, pillows. They do have sheets and pillows and blankets that you can, what would I say? Borrow, but those need to be returned and you cannot use them for the time that you're at St. Thomas. So you will need to buy bedding once you arrive, and that will be your bedding for however long you choose to use it, unless you want to update it. But yes, you do. Okay, that's a really good question though. Thank you for asking that. And then of course, yeah, Lori's message too. Okay. Good. All right, good questions. Thank you for those. Keep them coming if you have questions. Okay, we will talk now about your student ID. This is really important, but in the orientation Canvas module, there will be directions on how to upload your photo. And I hope everyone hears this. Please, please, please upload your photo before you arrive. We can't stress the importance of this. Because once you arrive to campus, there will be time to pick up your ID card. But your ID card is really important because it's your room key for your residence hall. It provides you access to various facilities on campus. Really the most important thing, especially for when you arrive, is access to your residence hall. If you imagine traveling for 25, 35, 40 hours, the first thing you probably want to do is just go to your room and de-stress. And it's very, very crucial that you've uploaded your photo ahead of time. Okay. And so there are directions on the Canvas module on how to do that. Okay.
Tina, can I add one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if worse come to worse and somehow you forget to upload the photo and you can't get into your dorms, there's always public safety. They're on 24/7. If you happen to lose your ID sometime in the future too, which I did once, just give them a call. If you really need to get into a building, they'll come right to your building. Yeah.
Thanks, V. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Carolina, did you want to mention anything else about student IDs, or do you think we're good there?
I just want to make a small addition to what V said. So, if by any chance you haven't, which shouldn't happen, so we will help you out with that. And we'll likely, depending on the time of day, we can either leave it with public safety, like leave a way for you to access your dorm, or you can come to our office, depending on the time of day. But if anything happens, if your flight is delayed, if anything like that happens, we'll be in communication with you. So that's why in the arrival form, you have to enter your like phone number through WhatsApp so we can contact you through there, or at the very least, the email that you will be able to check once you're here. Because if anything happens, we don't want you guys to just be lost, like without any idea of what to do, and we want to help you. So please just enter your information accurately and correctly so that if anything happens, we can help you.
Thanks, Carolina. All right. So something that we've seen and we are seeing are some scam emails, and we just wanted to turn your attention to this. You might get emails like this that list job offers. If you look at the screenshots provided on the slide, you can see this is a pretty common scam that we see. It's very tricky because sometimes they come from St. Thomas email accounts. But please, please, please know that they are scams. Employers are never ever going to email you offering you job opportunities unless you've, interviewed with them or specifically requested information from their company or something. And something else that's really important to remember too is that official government entities will not call you, they will not email you, they will not text you. And so we do not want you to respond to these types of messaging. If you have questions, come to the office. We are always more than willing to take a look at the email, take a look at the content, and give you our professional opinion. But if you see an email like this, don't click on it. You can report it to phishing through St. Thomas, but just leave it alone. Unfortunately, they will offer you things that are very too good to be true, like $300 for 2 hours of work. It's not going to happen. So we just wanted you to just be aware that these emails unfortunately do happen, and just ignore them or report them to phishing. Okay, if you have any questions, of course, you can type them in the chat. Academic calendar, you can find the academic calendar by going on stthomas.edu and typing in academic calendar, and it will show you the dates that are really important, such as when midterm break is, when final exams begin, all that kind of important stuff. If you're looking to purchase a round trip ticket though, some information that may be helpful is that May 22nd, 2026 is move out day for those of you that are living in the residence halls. You will have to leave the residence hall on that day. Okay, and again, you can find the academic calendar online. It will have a lot of important dates that you may want to just look over. Okay. All right, we can go to the next slide. All right, I'm sure that many of you are wondering, when you're going to be getting your housing information. Those will go out at the end of July. For the Common Good Learning Communities and the Living Learning Communities, those assignments have already been sent out. Okay. We always advise prioritizing your living and learning community or this is a lot of words, your common good living and learning communities over preferred roommates, because you can only be in these during your first year. And these living and learning communities offer you lots of opportunities to connect with other people in your programs or majors. And there's a lot of events that happen as well with those. living and learning communities. If you do have questions, though, it is best to contact Residence Life directly. They can answer any questions you have about your housing assignments. And the email for Residence Life is listed on this slide, reslife@stthomas.edu. If you have any questions again, definitely reach out to Res Life about that. Okay. All right. So we have 2 orientations that you're going to be hearing about. The first one is the orientation that we provide through our office. We will provide something called International Student Orientation starting on Saturday, August 23rd through Wednesday, August 27th. And we have a full schedule on our website. So if you want to, you can kind of click through that. I've had a couple of questions in the chat. One of the questions was, are there any chances of acquiring bank accounts or opening bank accounts? Yes, you will have that opportunity during orientation, during international orientation. Carolina, is it on Monday? Okay. Sorry, everyone. I just returned from a break, so I am trying to get all the dates in my head for when things are happening. But yes, we will have an opportunity for you to open a bank account and to get a SIM card or something for your mobile phones. International Student Orientation is a great time to meet those of you, all of your classmates and new international students. We'll have lots of other events. We'll have a picnic. We will go to Target, like I mentioned. We have lots of different things that will keep you busy for those few days before classes begin. And we're looking forward to it. It's a really fun time. Carolina, would you like to quickly cover airport and arrival information?
Yep. So it should be, no, it shouldn't. It is on the website, the link for the arrival information form, and we have also sent it out on the pre-arrival reminder emails. So you should all have the link for the arrival information form. Please list whether you are already in the US, if you're a transfer student, or when you're arriving to the US. We can pick you up from the airport, but only on Saturday, August 23rd, which is also the first day that you can move into your dorms. So if you arrive before that date, you will have to find your own accommodations because, again, you can only move in on Saturday, August 23rd. And that's again, the only day that we can pick you up from the airport. So please just let us know your plans. If you're not arriving on that day, there are ways, of course, that you can get to campus, whether that's Uber, Lyft. So we can help you with that. And like I mentioned on the previous slide, if anything happens, if your flight gets delayed, we need to have your information so that we can help you out and so that we can plan ahead and leave a student ID or anything that you might need with public safety. So please, again, give us your accurate information. I know that there's been a lot of you guys that have been entering your current school's information, your current school's email. Please make sure that you will be able to access that even once you graduate, because I mean, if anything, if that's the only email that you have given us, that's where we will send you any information that you might need. And so if you can't access that, then you won't have any information. So just make sure you add that. We do have WhatsApp as well. So if that's easier for you guys, just give us that information. But yes, regardless of your plans, please just fill out the arrival information form.
Thanks, Carolina. We do have a couple of questions in the chat just about orientation and arrival. Someone asked if Baraka, I think, if I arrive early and find accommodation in the city, can my mom and I visit the school before the 23rd? Absolutely. You just can't, you just won't be able to move into your residence hall until the 27th. Okay.
Until the 23rd. Just want to.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Carolina. Until the 23rd. I'm sorry. We had another question. Someone asked, is currency exchange facilitated on the day of arrival because you'll be going to Target and you need to use US dollars? It's best if you can to exchange currency in your home country. We don't have the ability to help you with currency exchange. So if you can, it would be best for you to do that before you come. Another option, and I'm not sure if this is available to all of you, but you could also get a prepaid Visa or MasterCard. I'm not sure where you'd buy those, but oh, V, did you want to? No, okay, sorry. And then of course airport exchanges as well. Someone else asked us, how far is St. Thomas from the airport? It's very close. I think it takes about 10-15 minutes. I was just there this morning dropping off a friend. I think it was very quick. I think it was about 15 minutes. If there's a lot of traffic, it may take longer, but it is very, very close. Okay, and then the last question I think was answered already. If you're having trouble accessing your St. Thomas account, reach out to your admissions counselor, Amanda, Lou, or John. Okay. Okay, so something else that's really important. I mentioned earlier that you'll have 2 orientations. You'll have the international student orientation and you'll have something called the first year orientation. This is really important. This virtual orientation is going to take place on July 28th from 8:45 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So unfortunately, for many of you, it's going to be very late in the evening. Transfer students, I don't know how many of you are on the call, but there is an in-person event on August 27th. Please calculate the time difference correctly, as this orientation session is mandatory. This is an orientation session that is provided for the wider St. Thomas incoming class. And so this will have a lot of information that all incoming students need to know. We help you with a lot of information specific to being an international student, whereas this orientation will help you to just adjust to being a first-year St. Thomas student. And then you will receive the Zoom link for this 1 week before the session. Okay, so this is just put these on your calendars, maybe set a reminder in your phones or somewhere just to remind yourself of these, okay? All right. A couple more slides here. John, I'm gonna pass it on to you.
Of course. Okay, let's talk. We have a event coming up. It's called Peer-to-Peer Ask an ISA. We have a wonderful group of student ambassadors here at St. Thomas that really want to help you out. Whether that's just answering you really logistical questions about St. Thomas, or even just talking about like the big scary stuff too, like what's it like to adjust in the United States? What's it like to learn about a new culture? What's scary about college? They can help you with these types of conversations. We're gonna have an event for you. It is on Wednesday, July 23rd. The time is from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm really sorry, I don't have more scheduling options for this right now. This is our first time doing it, and it's really hard to schedule a bunch of students, but this is our first time doing it. We will send you a calendar invite to attend this, so don't worry, there's nothing you need to sign up for. But you are matched with a current St. Thomas student who is a pro. They've been doing this for a while, they know their stuff. And it's really just a time for you to build a relationship, get to know each other, ask any questions, and just learn from them too. They have a lot of good knowledge to share. So just keep an eye on your inbox. We're going to send out a calendar invite, and there's really nothing you need to do to prepare for this. You just show up with a good attitude and some questions that you want to ask.
Thank you, John. Okay, we just have a couple of more slides left. Carolina, would you love to go over social media for us, please? This is different from the previous slide. Don't worry, guys.
I mean, pretty self-explanatory. These are some of the Instagram accounts that I strongly suggest that you follow them. Just because a lot of times they just offer updates. The OISS Instagram, we post a lot of our events there, so you just want to stay connected. There's also a class of 2029 Instagram account. You should also follow that for your own, I guess, benefit. And then our office WhatsApp is listed there below. Again, I would recommend having this with you just in case while you're traveling. That's one of the easiest ways to contact us. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory.
Thank you, Carolina. All right, we just have, I think 2 slides left. Important dates, August 6th at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We will be doing our final pre-arrival call, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And then the most exciting day, August 23rd, 2025, arrival day. Please sign up for airport pickup. Remember though, the deadline to sign up is August 19th. If you have any questions about that, again, you can reach out to your admissions counselors. All right, last slide. So our next pre-arrival call is happening on August 6th. We will talk about arrival information. We'll kind of go over again what to bring to the US. We'll talk about important arrival information and orientation, textbooks, final transcripts, billing and privacy, and you'll have a chance to meet your international orientation leaders. So we are very, very excited. We hope that you come with lots of questions. We do have a couple of minutes right now. If you do have any questions, you can type them in the chat box. You can unmute yourself if you want. Does anybody have any questions while we have a couple of minutes left? You did have a lot of good questions in the chat as well, so thank you for those. Anything else we can help you with? Okay. It is going to be very hot when you arrive, so please make sure that you're dressed appropriately. If you can, I think it's important to travel with a reusable water bottle. That's always, I think, really good advice. Last year during move-in day, it was pretty warm. Lou and Carolina can tell you all about that because we were we were helping you move, helping students move last year. So it looks like we have a couple of questions. Baraka, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat box.
Sorry, can you guys repeat about the what's the thing called? Immunization requirements.
Sure. Carolina, do you want to go back to that slide? Baraka, here you can see the requirements, what you'll need to bring. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And
I'll
yes,
touch
Lori.
on the questions about
Good.
safety and storms. Not sure. You know, everyone has weather and different things going on, right? So sometimes we have snowstorms, which is really just a lot of snow. Doesn't really impact much. Once in a long while, we'll have a tornado warning or a watch, and we can talk about what the difference is, but it's not long or lengthy. And what I recommend doing is when everyone arrives, you'll be there's a UST alert, which texts for public safety texts if there's a tornado watch, a severe thunderstorm, or any warnings, and they'll tell you exactly what to do, and then they'll tell you when it's all clear. So it's super, super helpful, and everyone will get enrolled in that. And then in general, we have public safety on campus. So they're super helpful, and we'll talk more about that at orientation. They also provide they can accompany you late at night if you're walking from your class back to your dorm or things like that. So we'll talk about all that during orientation, but yeah, we'll definitely, there's lots of ways to stay connected and keep updated on the weather.
Thank you, Lori. Well, everyone, we are so thankful and so happy that you joined us this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. If you have any questions, again, you can reach out to your admissions counselors, and we will see you all again on August 6th for our final pre-arrival call. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. See you. Good night, most of you.